Hey guys, Tuffknives here. This will be the biggest video I make, I think, ever.
To this date.
Yeah, to this day, I think, in my knife making career and in my life, I think. This is a big starting point for me, and something just insane. I'll get to it in a minute. I just want to show you real quick. Kind of have some of my prototypes and some of my knives here. And you see the progression. This is like one of the original toads. This is actually a nicer one. Actually, the first war toad, pretty much, like the predecessor to these guys. You can see like just some thin AEB, some nice finishes. Then you got the toads here, and then the tough one was a big thing for me, which is still not, you know, it's not perfect or anything like that, but it works. It's nice. That'll be next on my agenda. But the Tanics were sort of the thing in my head, and I really wanted to go all out with these. And you guys saw the prototype, and it was nice and everything. It didn't really function that well and stuff. It just kind of was what it was. It locked up solid and cut well, but not very good action. And not what I envisioned originally. It was sort of like almost there, you know? So, as you guys know from me saying a million times, that I basically have been putting everything into these Tanics. And I was very worried about certain elements of it because you're on your own there, pretty much. I mean, you gotta, yeah, I got some stuff cut out, some things machined, but for the most part, the important things were left up to me, and then finishing it off. And so I've completed my first one, guys, and I'm not tooting my own horn here. This is big for me. I basically finished it, and I looked at it, and I nearly like fell off my chair. Because I didn't expect it to look like that at all. Because the prototype was kind of cool, looked nice, but the one I started over, you know, before I got all the other ones back, it didn't really turn out very nice looking. But that was because I stopped halfway because it just would not work. So, this one's probably the most perfect knife I made. Before that, the Warlock, which is going out pretty soon. But I didn't like the way it looked all that much. I do like the way it looks, but it wasn't. It just was what it was. So, but this one was planned out meticulously, and basically came down to me getting everything from heat treat. Grab that box there underneath you. I got everything back from heat treat today. I got a big box of Tanics. You see, they got a. What is this finish called?
I believe that's the Spock finish.
Take those away. So when I got home, I basically just got started right away, and I press fit some pins. They're lightly hard. They're not hardened like you know 60 or something. They're like around like
50,
40 to
45.
50. You know, so they're like hard enough, but they still have flex to them. So they're not gonna break. But you got about in the Tanics, you got about this much. Maybe less than that.
That ain't gonna bend or break.
So it's not gonna bend or break, and it's an 1/8 inch, so it's pretty thick for a stop pin. Running along the track in there. So guys, when I put this together, finished it up, and I whipped it open. I mean, you saw some of my Instagram. I mean, I ran down the street.
Yeah, he did. He literally took the knife
with it in the air, like
with his arms in the air.
Just.
I did it.
I wanted to howl at the moon. It was just awesome.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, guys. Here's the first Tanic. This is mine. I'm keeping it.
Yeah, it better be. Keep it.
The detent is absolutely perfect, but I did one thing wrong on it. But the next one will be. I know it's going to be perfect. This is going to be.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I can fix this so easily with one little thing, and I know it's going to be fixed in like a minute when I just feel like doing it. It's perfect now, though. So guys, here she is. The first completed Tanic. This is what the Tanics will look like after the first order of the custom ones for everybody, the first 20. They will look like this, just probably stonewash. This one's blasted. The pivot is blasted as well.
So it's like base model.
Base model. The backspacer, this one's just the proper size. It's brown G10, earth brown. And you got this side. It's just gorgeous. And see, the centering is absolutely perfect.
It all came together.
Oh yes.
My God.
The action is flawless.
Oh my goodness.
And the lockup? Let's talk about this lockup here. Yeah, that's
So I had to go with an early one.
That's
Never
safe.
gonna move.
No blade play whatsoever. It is perfect. And
both of us are kind of speechless tonight.
I just don't know, like, I've never experienced making something this perfect before, as a bug flies directly into my eye.
They like you, man.
I mean, that takes no effort. It just rips open. I don't know what I could compare it with, really.
The grip is more comfortable than an Onslaught.
It is, yeah, I mean, I basically took this, as you can see, on the scales when I got them, one thing I was worried about was this, I got the titanium, like, really nice 6AL 4V, right? Titanium?
I think so.
I always forget the numbers there. But I saved some money and got some off of a site, and it was cheaper, but it came perfectly flat with this, like, strange, like, scale on it, like this weird pattern. It's like a texture. And I found out that I cannot surface grind it. But it's very light texturing. It doesn't affect anything at all because your bearings are running in here, and which is perfectly surface ground. And if it was scraping against something, we'd have a problem. So, but it's definitely not. But when I beveled it,
oh my goodness,
the corners and all the beveling, which is like a lot of beveling. I took this from like the VCP. I really like the beveling on there. It was really drastic and steep angle there, and just nice beveling around everything else. But the beveling's smooth, and then that texture's still on there, and it just looks just incredible.
Look at that lock bar.
And the texture can come off easily on the outsides. It will be on the insides though. But it adds just, it feels really nice. And then yeah, the lock bar cut out. I really like that one. I added that in there in the program. And little relief cuts, nice and clean. No clip yet, guys. That's tomorrow. Lockup's good. I mean, you can, if you do whip it open real hard. I like to unlock knives that way, like clawing it from the back there. But I was barely touching it, as you can see.
And the strange thing about it, you can't use lube on it, right?
Yeah, the weird thing so far, what I've noticed is if you lubricate it, these bearings kind of don't like it. I mean, if these are needle thrust bearings.
Barrel bearings, kind of.
Yeah, they're, these are trial. I have another set of bearings lined up that fit perfectly, just in case if anything goes wrong. So I'm going to be hard using this thing for the next few days. But right now, what it seems like is that the bearings don't like to be lubed up.
It's better dry.
When they're completely dry, it's like perfect. I got a lot of grit in it and water when I was basically reshaping a part of it. I had it together with this area. I was grinding right here, so the shit was going all inside there, and it's still open nice and smooth. Even with all the grit in there and everything. But then the second I like cleaned everything off and then lubed up the little, I basically put a little drop of lube in here, so it filled it, and then put the bearings in it, and I put together, and it was very rough. So, but I'm thinking like something like a dry lube, like Tuffknives, might actually be beneficial in this knife. But right now it's just so incredibly smooth. I mean, it's perfect, and I'm so happy with this, guys. And I definitely learned a few things. One, the price I put them at is way too low. So,
definitely.
I mean, the amount of hours into these things and the amount of money into them definitely calls for a bit of a bump in price. So the first 20 you guys are pretty damn lucky because I'm not going to price them that low anymore. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be from 7 to 8 or something like that. I'm not sure exactly.
Worth every penny.
Don't quote me, but I mean, they will be quality. Because right now, I don't think I'll ever have another knife in my pocket besides this one.
Yeah, holy cow.
This one's cool because I don't know why, but I put the logo on there. And it came out satin. It's weird. Give me like a ruler or something so I can give some specs here.
We had a ruler here. There's one.
Alright, so it is...
Do you even know the specs on your knife?
No. I never do. I never even said what the toad was ever. Yeah. So this guy, N690 steel, which is a German Buller Udenhoden steel. So it's a real good steel. It's one of my favorites, that's why I picked it. It's very corrosive resistant and holds an edge really well and gets very sharp. As you can see, the sharpness and the...
Thing never rusts. I love that stuff.
You can see a nice thick, like gradual bevel there. It just gets wider. It's thicker up here. Very, very slight convex to it. It's different than the original. It does bulbous out a little bit here, but not as much as the other one. But it's nice and thin right there. It gets a lot thicker towards the tip. So it's a real fine edge down the bottom. And then on this edge, it's a lot thicker, more of a utility, but still very, very sharp. It's actually sharper than this part for some reason. Okay, so the blade length from cutting edge, about 3, almost 4, almost
3.5.
No, yeah, it's like 3.5.
3.25.
No, it's like 3.25.
3.25. That's a really good.
Well,
size.
you've actually come back here a little bit more.
3.5. So
yeah, because I mean, if you come up here, you're hitting the top of this,
yeah,
the scale. So 3.5, and the handle is.
You're not all the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to line it up here without scratching anything.
Yeah.
It's about 5, give or take a few milliseconds.
I'd say 4 and 3/4.
Get my paramilitary out of there. I think it's in the nicer case. Do some comparisons here. Paramilitary 2, around the same size. It's definitely bulkier for sure. We got the Sage 2 here. It's a lot bigger than the Sage 2. CT 560 is smaller than the 560, so it's a lot of guys don't like the ZT 560 because it's too big to carry. I never saw a problem with it, but this is kind of like a ZT squished and rounded a little bit. Brad Southard flipper here.
They're very close in size with the Southard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But you know what? I like the Tanic more than the Southard now.
Give me the Praetorian here, so we see.
Praetorian, where is that thing?
It's right here, actually.
Okay.
So you got the Praetorian here, which is a big knife. You see, I mean, you can see where I knocked off about everything on it. This is probably bad to compare these two. Don't tell anybody, guys.
Yeah, don't tell anybody we stole that design.
Nobody's got this knife in my pocket.
What's in your pocket?
You know, I think it's probably maybe like the 300. No.
No.
It's like a more organic 300 actually.
As productions go, you want to see the.
Also?
I think they're. Jeez, look at that. That's sweet.
Yeah, it's not the biggest knife in the world, but it feels
it's so cool.
Feels very, 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 very comfortable. Actually, like I'm not. It's like one of the most comfortable knives I've ever held in my hand.
Definitely. He's not tooting his own horn at all. Like it really is. It's something incredible.
I hate this music right now.
You're gonna compare it next to it.
What is this like music going on here? I hate it.
It's your phone, man. Don't
That
hide your
goes to like
taste.
the worst song while I'm trying to do something here. And then I can't find the
It's to give them more time looking at the show side of the Tanic.
God damn, find something. It's like, no. Yeah, so it's nice and clean on this side here. Gosh, everything's just clean as hell. I mean, there's no, like, I'm used to, like, doing these by hand, and, like, there's some spots where, like, things aren't perfect, and some things don't line up, like, something's off-centered, but I managed to get the grind perfect, nice and centered.
Excitement does good things.
See, that lockup is ridiculously early. It's a, what is it, 8.5 degree angle there on the lock,
Yeah,
or the
8.5.
cutout on the blade. See that little baby,
That should wear really, really well.
little baby detent in there.
Yeah, it's a small detent, but it's perfect. It is exactly what that like weight blade needs.
This detent has gotten better.
It's rusting in more.
Rusting in?
And this knife makes such great noises. It's weird, but it's an important thing. It sounds fantastic.
It's satisfying. That's with my left finger.
Yeah.
Let's try with my right one here. Reverse grip feels fantastic. I was a little nervous. I had to open this area up here, right here, a lot because it was very, very narrow for your finger. So I wanted to make sure it was big enough.
With that, though.
Yeah, it was. I was a little worried about the angle of the flipper changing and it being different, but it's actually perfect. I mean, they got the action right, so it doesn't have to do with the flipper really. I always thought it did, but Ferrum Forge said, some things about that, and it kind of made me feel a little better. So, how thick are these scales, guys? Let me see here.
Pretty thick. Quarter-inch.
Quarter-inch thick.
Quarter-inch tie on both sides, and it's, I believe, a quarter-inch backspacer, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
a point
3/4 of an inch thick.
0.207.
Minus a hair.
And then it's a bit under. The blade steel was quarter-inch, but it was surface ground to be a bit under, so there's like
yeah, but it's perfect,
multiple thousandths under. But I like a thinner blade that's easier to work with,
yeah,
and it's not
a thin blade.
It's definitely not thin. But let me see if I can.
Starting at a quarter-inch, it's a nice one.
You can see it's thicker than the ZT 300. Almost around the same. It's a little bit thicker. Definitely is. But yeah, guys. So these will be not available yet. They'll be available to some people that got them from me, or are going to get them from me. This one's the first one made. So
no emails or calls.
Yeah.
They're coming when they come.
Nobody. I mean, pretty much. No special deals. Pretty much. I'm not going to be like offering them to anybody really. If when I finish them and I find out what's going on with them, I mean, he's tapped me out. I'm not making money on them right now. So I do have something planned for them. I do have a bunch of extras, but I'm not tapping into those yet. Blade HQ might get some of them.
Hello.
So we got to figure out what they want to do, because I want them to get first dibs because they're great people, help me out a lot. So I got to figure out price and how to get this done more cost effectively next time.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
Whew.
I don't know. It should be a lot more cost effective next time. Now that
I live in a box, man.
I know, man.
Because of these things. Jeez.
I've just been eating ramen noodles and some Easy Mac.
Oh, Easy Mac's good.
I know Easy Mac is really good. It makes the whole homeless life pretty nice.
D10's good.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
It's just, I hate this flipping it this way. I don't even know how to do that. I can't do that.
It needs some grip saddles on it though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I usually. So the pot clip, guys, and it's called the Tanic.
Yep.
The Spyderco Tanic. Tuffknives Tanic.
Yeah. Tough design.
You want to call it Tough Tanic? Go ahead and call it Tough Tanic. Now Tanic, I spell that way because I freaking feel like spelling it that way. It has nothing to do with Tantic. Tantic just sounds
when
really lame.
When you say Titanic, you say Titanic.
Tanic's just a made-up word, pretty much. So I mean,
just means big.
It reminds you of Tantic, like the Titanic. But when you say Titanic, you don't say Titanic because you sound like a weirdo. Most people say Titanic. So I like that, kind of like a slang version of Tantic. It's Tanic. So thank you, Minds Mirror. I appreciate your spelling lesson.
Why do we have to battle off these bugs tonight?
I don't know. The beetles are getting in, even with the screen doors.
These beetles are huge.
Yeah, so, guys, tell me what you think. I'm in love with this. I'm going to go divorce my wife and marry this thing. So
I'm just going to follow him around. Hopefully I'll be able to get a look at it every now and then.
Seems like I'll sell everything.
I'll sell everything I have. All of my empty cereal boxes and my socks. I'll sell all those for that.
Nice full grip on here.
It's beautiful.
Jimping's nice and...
Yeah, the jimping is not aggressive at all. It's deep, but it's also...
Oh, you can press in there and it gets aggressive, but it doesn't intrude.
It's smooth, though. It's nice and rounded and nice.
It's actually, if the scale came all the way up, it'd be actually a little bit below, but you'd feel with the fat of your finger.
It's comfortable.
I planned on that, so... Alright, guys, that's enough of this. It is...
1:30?
2:16 in the morning. And I could not help myself. I had to do a video. Hopefully this is not a bad time to do it, and people will be able to see it tomorrow.
I don't know. This thing will go pretty quickly, I think. This is a big deal.
Alright, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Let's just...
Ogle.
Shut up. Shh.